That being said, let's go ahead and continue, guys. I do have next coming up here. This is a little story time when it comes to the Sentury. Okay. This is about the origins of the Sentury. You're like, yo, who the hell the Sentury is? Remember, he also has an alter ego, which is the Void, which is a bad thing. So we're gonna go ahead and check out Comics Explains, so he can go ahead and explain it. And yeah, this is gonna be the origins of the Sentury, guys. So do me a solid, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe.
What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and we are back again with another installment of our Beyond Omega Level series, where we cover the most powerful characters in
Smash
comics.
that like,
and today,
baby!
We're talking about a character that I honestly cannot believe we have not covered on this series before, the Sentury. Now, the Sentury was created by Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee, and first appeared in the Sentury #1, published in the year 2000, as part of Marvel's Marvel Knights initiative, which was basically when Marvel was trying to recover from filing bankruptcy. So they started telling more mature storylines with their characters, but had it published by Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada's Event Publications because it was cheaper. But the Sentury was introduced to be a Superman analog in the Marvel Universe, and while he is by no means the only Superman knockoff that Marvel has created, he's probably the most popular and well received among fans, although I would argue that either Adam Brashear or Hyperion from Earth 13034 might stand a better chance, or might be a little more popular and more well received. Regardless, the Sentury's real name is Robert Reynolds, and he was a man who was given a serum that gave him the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Now, as one does when they receive such power, Reynolds begins a superhero career as the Sentury and becomes one of the most famous superheroes in the world. Now, when we first see Robert Reynolds in the comics, however, he's a middle-aged and overweight man with no memories of his superhero career. Now, as Robert's memories begin to return, he learns that his arch nemesis, the Void, is returning as well, and he sets out to warn the heroes of the Marvel Universe. Now, upon talking with the various Marvel heroes, they begin to remember the Sentury, as pretty much all of them had worked alongside him at one point or another. Now, as more and more people begin to remember who the Sentury is, it becomes clear why no one remembered him in the first place, because the Sentury and the Void were merely two aspects of one person. And so to prevent the Void from destroying the Earth, Robert Reynolds had a device installed on top of the Avengers Tower, which actually held the Sentury Tower, and used it to wipe the minds of everyone on Earth, including himself, thinking that since the Void existed inside his mind, if he erased his memory of the Void would be powerless. Now later, the Sentury would be seen on the Raft, a prison for supervillains, where he has voluntarily committed himself for killing his wife. Now, after a prison break, Sentury fights alongside the Avengers, and they soon learn that Robert Reynolds was a virus created by the evil mutant mastermind, and that virus is the reason that the Void exists within Robert Reynolds' brain. It was written by Brian Michael Bendis. Yeah, it was kind of stupid.
But the twist that the movie is doing, if you guys seen in the trailer, when everybody goes to the one room where they start attacking each other, and Bob, the Sentury, is right there, their mission is to kill the Sentury. So that's what they do. Val created the Sentury, and she couldn't control him. So she figured, you know what, let me get these guys to kill the Sentury. They'll kill each other, and then the last man standing, I'll just kill that person. You know, that's how they're gonna wind up doing it in the movie.
Bear with me here. Now, after Emma Frost uses her telepathic abilities to heal Sentury's brain, including revealing that he had not, in fact, murdered his wife, he joins the Avengers and resumes his career as a superhero. Now, the source of Sentury's powers are a little bit of a gray area, and what I mean is that there have been different explanations given in different comics. For instance, one explanation of Sentury's powers is that they come from a modified version of the super soldier serum that was used on Steve Rogers, and this modified version is said to be 1,000 times more powerful than the original version. Now, according to another source, the Sentury is actually an alien life force that made its way to Earth and found a host within the super soldier serum that was then administered to Robert Reynolds. But no matter which one of these versions is true, what cannot be denied is Sentury is one of the most powerful heroes the Marvel Universe has ever seen. Of course, Sentury possesses superhuman strength and is one of the strongest superheroes, if not the strongest. He's capable of sinking an island and carrying a shield helicarrier carrier, although he did have help from Wonder Man and Carol Danvers when he was doing that. The Sentry's proven to be stronger than Thor and the Hulk, and was able to lift the dead body of a Celestial and fly it into space, which is crazy when you consider just how absolutely massive Celestials really are. Now, Sentry was also able to rip Carnage apart with no difficulty, and on another occasion broke the axe of Galactus's herald Terrax, which was capable of destroying planets. Now, in addition to his immense strength, Sentry also possesses super speed and is able to fly from the Earth to Saturn in a matter of moments. Now, the Sentry is also insanely durable, taking multiple punches from Worldbreaker Hulk and surviving a nuclear explosion at point-blank range with basically no injuries. And although it is pretty much impossible to harm the Sentry, when he does suffer damage, he can heal from that damage instantaneously thanks to his regenerative healing factor. Now, this healing factor is incredibly powerful, as Sentry has been able to heal his body after it was completely destroyed, and he seems to be incapable of killing himself, as he once tried to do so by flying into the sun, but even that didn't kill him. And this is not the only time the Sentry has come back to life after being killed, so it seems like Sentry is effectively immortal. Now, the Sentry is also able to manipulate matter on a molecular level, and this appears to be the source of all of his other powers, as this is the basis of how the Super Soldier Serum works, by bending the Sentry's molecules an instant into the future. For this reason, he's able to turn matter into basically anything he wants. And one time when the Void was controlling him, the Sentry was able to manipulate the molecules within the Molecule Man Owen Reese, which is absolutely insane because Owen Reese is one of the 3 or 4 most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe, if you don't count the cosmic abstracts. Now, because somebody down in the comments is gonna say it if we don't say anything, this was also like post-retcon Molecule Man. So yes, he was weaker than he was in like Secret Wars 2. We have to mention that because someone will say something about that, and I would rather say it before you do, so that if you do say it in the comments section, we can all laugh at you and say Rob already said that. Now, as if it weren't enough already, the Sentry is also capable of absorbing and manipulating vast quantities of energy, often to devastating effects. In one instance, a fight between the Sentry and Photon Genus Vel results in multiple planets being destroyed by the energy being expelled. And these guys were not even going all out. The Sentry is also able to emit so much energy that the Absorbing Man is not able to absorb it all, and it melts him with the power of a million exploding suns. Now, the more energy the Sentry absorbs, the stronger he becomes, and it's suggested there's no limit to the amount of energy the Sentry can absorb, which means that his power is basically limitless, as he's able to absorb energy from practically any source. Now, the Sentry is also a telepath, which explains how he was able to make everyone forget that he existed in the first place, although that was also done with help of a device. And I should point out that not only did Sentry alter the minds of every human on Earth, but he did so to all the Inhumans living on the moon as well. Now, in one of the weirdest aspects of Sentry's story, he subconsciously transfers his memories to the mind of a comic book writer named Paul Jenkins. So Paul Jenkins, Sentry's comic book creator, basically becomes a character in the Marvel Universe that writes comics about the Sentry's adventures since he can remember them. It's weird. It was Brian Michael Bendis. And although he's not usually considered one of Marvel's strongest telepaths, the Sentry was able to resist a mind spell from Doctor Strange, and it took Emma Frost and Charles Xavier working together to penetrate his mind. And even then, Sentry's able to block off things he doesn't want them to see. Now, there are a litany of other powers the Sentry has, like flight, extremely acute senses, teleportation, shapeshifting, invisibility, intangibility, and this has been by no means an exhaustive list of the various feats the Sentry's performed, because we could literally just be here all night talking about them, because he is without a doubt one of the most impressive characters in Marvel Comics in terms of feats. But before we bring this video to a close, I do want to highlight a couple of his most impressive feats, starting with the time that he and Worldbreaker Hulk battled to a stalemate. So, if you're not familiar, Worldbreaker Hulk was, at the time, the most powerful version of the Hulk that we had ever seen, and he was literally steamrolling over pretty much every hero that got in his way. Finally, the Sentry shows up and the two of them fight, with each of them expending so much energy in the battle that they start to revert back into their respective alter egos. And this was when the Sentry was in a weakened state. So if he had been at full strength, there's a good chance he would have beaten Worldbreaker Hulk instead of just stalemating him. The second thing that I want to call attention to is that according to Peter Parker, the Sentry has also battled Galactus to a stalemate. Now, this did happen off panel, but it did make it into the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, so I think we can safely accept it as canon. And I'm sure most of you guys realize how impressive it is for any character to be able to battle Galactus one-on-one and survive, much less be able to stalemate like this guy. But yeah, the Sentury is incredibly powerful, definitely beyond Omega level, and I can't believe it's taken us so long to cover him. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna bring this video to an end. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all later.
Hells yeah. Shouts out to Comic Explain. Guys, make sure you guys subscribe to him. Anything you guys want to know about comic books, you can check it out there. Alright? Yo, please, Marvel, please don't F this up. Alright? The Sentury sounds, yo, that's a cool ass character. Cool ass character. Yo, he sounded even cooler than Superman. You know what I mean? The things that he can do, the abilities, I'm like, come on, Marvel, please don't mess it up. We're gonna get the Sentury. Let's just get him, and please don't fuck this up, okay? So, hey guys, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about that. There you go, the origins of the Sentury. If you didn't know, now you know. Alright, so comment below, let me know what you guys thought about that one. Alright, so check it out, guys. If you guys like what you're seeing, do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you like what you're seeing, smash that like. It does help out the channel. Ring the bell and let you know when I got all types of videos and live streams, gaming streams coming your way. Alright guys, so and shouts out to everybody in the chat and in the comments. On that one, guys, this was dope. This was awesome. This has been another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. I'm your boy, LC. Until next time, guys. Peace.